Hello, I'm M.K.Davis. I'd like to discuss with you something that I consider to be important to me. It's regarding the events that led up to the filming of the famous Patterson Bigfoot film. And I know I've said some things on this before, but I feel like I need to talk a little bit more about it so that maybe you can get some understanding of why I arrived at the conclusions that I did. First of all, I didn't arrive at these conclusions all alone. That I had a lot of help, plenty of help regarding what took place down there. But even in the light of that, after re-examining a lot of things about the film in the light of what I now knew, the film actually backs it up. And so do interviews with eyewitnesses that were there. Now, one of those eyewitnesses was a fellow by the name of Al Hodson, who lives in Willow Creek, California. And Al was very instrumental in a lot of the Bigfoot goings-on. He was kind of the go-to Bigfoot guy. And he talked to me in 2008 quite a bit about the goings-on there. And let's just listen to some of the things that he had to say.
Then John Green called me, and he said, Al, he said, would you meet my charter plane in Orleans? He said, I'm bringing a tracking dog down, and there's been tracks found up at Blue Creek. When they left. Why, I didn't want to call Roger right then. When they first got up there, I thought, that's not quite right. Call him on top of them. So I didn't wait. I waited till they left, and then I called Roger and told him. And I said, well, they're probably out of the area now. But anyway, but he says, well, he says, I think I'm going to come down anyway. I've been wanting to come down. I'm going to come down anyway.
Now, notice that John Green came first. John Green and his party came in a chartered airplane with a dog handler and a dog that was supposed to run a Sasquatch, and with Renee DeHinden. And so they had a little hunting party that they brought. But when they left, he said that he called Roger Patterson. And Roger Patterson says, I think I'm going to come on down. Okay, now, if you listen to John Green now, he'll tell you that Roger Patterson didn't come down for several months. But that's not what Al's saying here. Listen to it again.
When they left. Why, I didn't want to call Roger right then. When they first got up there, I thought, that's not quite right. Call him on top of them. So I didn't wait. I waited till they left, and then I called Roger and told him. And I said, well, they're probably out of the area now. But anyway, but he says, well, he says, I think I'm going to come down anyway. I've been wanting to come down. I'm going to come down anyway.
So we have John Green coming down there. Then he leaves. And then Al calls Roger, and Roger says, yes, I'm coming on down. So what happens next? This is one of the more interesting things. Let me show you. This is from a book by John Green, and I'll read it to you. The first morning after I got home, I was awakened by a phone call from Bud Ryerson, who had just driven out to Blue Creek Mountain, where his crew was working and had found fresh tracks running for hundreds of yards in the loose dust on the new road. He was calling on the radio phone, which half of Northern California could hear. And all he said was that what I was looking for was there. I knew what he meant, and it turned out that a lot of other people did too. I got on the phone trying to round up scientists, a tracking dog, and money to charter a plane. The Vancouver Sun came through with $500, the only time anything like that had ever happened to me and Renee, and I got away early in the afternoon with Dale Moffat and White Lady, but no scientists. In the meantime, I had made a phone call to Al Hodson, who I met only briefly a couple of days before, and asked him to have someone meet us at the Orleans airstrip with transportation, food, and American money. So this is John Green's second trip. But what he doesn't know is that Roger Patterson is already on the way. Remember what Al said? I called Roger, and he says, yes, I think I'm going to come. They both arrive nearly the same time. So John and company get back out on the sandbar on Bluff Creek, and they came across something that they didn't see the previous day when they were there, and they look rather puzzled about it. It's a pile of horse crap, and fresh horse crap. And, of course, John says these were piles of rocks when you ask, but they're horse crap. And so they're down there together. Take a pretty good look at this, and look at this white dog's feet right there in that sand. And imagine the track that this white dog makes, because it's going to be important. Now let's go somewhere else. This is frame 352 from the Patterson film, and it's one of the best images there are. I got this particular frame. It's in a form of a 4x5 transparency from Patricia Patterson herself, and it is spectacular. And not only is it clearer than anything you've ever seen, but it also has more image. It's bigger. So let's take a look around the periphery. Okay, you've seen the horse turd, and you've seen John Green standing over it. You know that Al Hodson called Patterson in right after John Green left the first time. Al didn't know John had come back. Okay, now this is frame 352 from the Patterson film. And we're going to cruise to the very bottom of the frame where there's more to this particular frame, and there you have it, friends, a paw print. Well, you might say, well, that could be anything. It could be a leaf. It could be anything, but it's not anything. It's a paw print. I know what happened down there. I know where this paw print came from. It came from that white allication. And I'll show you where the red came from. Just to the left of that paw print is this hole right here that's full of red material. And I didn't add this red to it. Look at my thumb. My thumb is perfectly natural in color. No, I didn't add anything to it. This was taken in Patricia Patterson's yard. I used a piece of typing paper to put behind the transmission image and to make it into a platen image where I could photograph it. And it is what it is. Or perhaps maybe it got its foot in this material here. Now this is a red pool of red material, and off to the right there you'll see that little black thing laying there, which is a hide, presumably a Bigfoot hide. Look how close that foot is to that red material. Makes you think about that bloody paw print, don't it? It should. Now let's revisit that frame 352 and zoom in once more, but not on the paw print, on another particular anomaly on this photo. And let's talk about it some. Here we go to the periphery again. And you'll see a blue mark. And this is a ballpoint pen mark where somebody has been perusing this photograph with a pen. And now what were they trying to figure out? Let's go to another photo. Now this is also frame 352. And this is a platen image or a paper image that was being sold at the live events where Roger Patterson was highlighting and showing off the film. And let me just show you the difference. What you see here is no dog print, no paw print. It's been cropped exactly at the point of that ballpoint pen mark on that transparency. Someone was perusing the transparency to see where to do it at. So in a little under 10 minutes, you've learned an awful lot about this film. And it may be some things that you perhaps wish you didn't know. I know that's been the case for me. When I see things like this in the film, I know what I'm looking at now. I hope after watching this film you will know and appreciate what you're looking at as well. I'd like to think that I have a complete understanding of the Patterson film. I've certainly studied it very hard, and I've traveled for thousands of miles to get the story. But what I don't have a complete understanding of are the people that were involved. I thank you for your time.